What's up everybody, Max Digital here, and in this video I'm going to compare the OnePlus 9, which is pictured on the left, and the Apple iPhone SE 2020 pictured on the right. Let's go ahead and take a look. So we have the OnePlus 9, which is a flagship device for OnePlus. It's around $700, while the Apple iPhone SE 2020 is the most budget iPhone you could get at $400. So there's a price difference of around $300 at the very least. One big difference between these is that the OnePlus 9 is a 5G device, while the iPhone is only 4G LTE. So the OnePlus 9 is definitely the bigger and heavier device. It weighs around 6.4 ounces, while the iPhone SE 2020 weighs a mere 5.22 ounces. Very compact and lightweight phone. For the build quality, the OnePlus 9 has a glass front, glass back, plastic frame. iPhone SE has a glass front, glass back, aluminum frame. So on the premium build quality, it's tough to say, but I'm going to have to give it actually to the iPhone SE because it has real glass on the back. The glass back on the OnePlus 9 doesn't feel like real glass. It's almost like a plasticky feeling type glass. But either way, they're supposed to be premium, but I'm going to have to give it to the iPhone SE, which is surprising because it's $300 less. The OnePlus 9 is a dual SIM device, but in the United States, it is going to be a single SIM device, while the iPhone SE is a dual SIM device, except one of those SIMs is eSIM. These are basically phones that you could have two different data services, two different phone numbers, and you can swap them in and out very easily, good for travelers. One surprising difference also is that the OnePlus 9 isn't rated with the IP rating for dust and water resistance, but I'm sure it'll withstand some type of water resistance. While the iPhone SE is rated at officially at IP67 dust and water resistance, you can dunk it in water up to 1 meter for 30 minutes. So another surprising plus on the iPhone SE 2020, which is $300 less. Big difference in screen and display. You get a 6.55 Fluid AMOLED display on the OnePlus 9 with 120 Hz, while the iPhone SE 2020 has a 4.7-inch Retina IPS LCD display. The screen to body ratio is very different as well. You get 87% on the OnePlus 9. You get 65% screen to body ratio on the iPhone SE 2020. So definitely you're getting more screen real estate, bigger screen on the OnePlus 9, and you get huge bezels on the iPhone SE 2020, a very old school look. When it comes to the resolution, the OnePlus 9 is 1080p display, full HD, while the iPhone SE 2020 has a 750 by 1334 pixel resolution. That translates to 402 ppi on the OnePlus 9, 326 ppi on the iPhone SE. So kind of similar, nothing flagship territory for the PPI and the quality, but you'll be pretty happy with both. For the software, the OnePlus 9 has the latest Android 11 software with Oxygen OS on top, which is very stock Android, while the iPhone SE 2020 comes with iOS, currently running iOS 14. Both of these devices should be updated with several years of updates. For the chipset, the OnePlus 9 has the best-in-class Qualcomm Snapdragon 888, while the iPhone SE 2020 has the A13 Bionic. So basically, the OnePlus 9 has the latest and greatest in the chipset. The iPhone SE 2020 doesn't have the newest set of chipset, but it is still fairly fast. Both of these will run pretty much every app you could throw at it, no problem. When it comes to storage, the OnePlus 9 starts off at 128 gigs, while the iPhone SE 2020 is 64 gigs. For the RAM, you got 8 gigs on the OnePlus 9, and you get 3 gigs of RAM on the iPhone SE 2020. Neither of these devices have SD card slots, so the OnePlus 9 wins in that category, but 128 gigs of storage for $700 on a flagship isn't really nothing to brag about. The RAM of 8 gigs for the OnePlus 9 is pretty good. It'll definitely do the job. And 3 gigs of RAM on the iPhone SE 2020 it sounds low on paper, but iOS really handles RAM efficiently. So you shouldn't have problems with either of these phones running several apps in the background. Now we're going to the camera system. So the OnePlus 9 has several cameras on the back. It has a 48 megapixel main shooter, 50 megapixel ultra wide, and 2 megapixel depth camera with Hasselblad camera technology embedded, while the iPhone SE 2020 has one single 12 megapixel camera. You get 8K video on the OnePlus, 4K video on the iPhone SE. Now obviously you're going to get better options and camera and video qualities in the OnePlus 9, but not by very much, because OnePlus has been notorious for not having really good camera systems. While the iPhone SE, for the price point at $400, that single camera is very good at taking videos and pictures. Both of these phones will get the job done. You'll be very happy with your pictures, but they're definitely not flagship. Even the OnePlus 9, these aren't flagship level cameras and videos. If you want that really great camera and video resolution and quality, you have to step it up and get an S21 or an iPhone 12 Pro or something like that. For the selfie camera, the OnePlus 9 has a 16 megapixel shooter with 1080p video. iPhone SE 2020 7 megapixel shooter with 1080p. So it's kind of depressing that the $700 OnePlus 9 flagship selfie only has 1080p video. The picture should be good on both of these devices, but for $300 less, you get the same 1080p video on the iPhone SE 2020. So kind of a disappointment with the OnePlus 9. Both of these phones have stereo speakers, but neither of these devices have that headphone jack. And if you have embraced wireless headphones and wearables, you got Bluetooth 5.2 on the OnePlus 9, Bluetooth 5.0 on the iPhone SE 2020. Both of these versions of Bluetooth will be perfectly suitable for your wearables, such as your smartwatch, your smart band, your wireless headphones, speakers, and all types of devices. Both phones feature NFC, but it's mostly used for payments. For the charging port, you got USB Type-C on the OnePlus 9. You got Lightning port for the iPhone SE 2020. The USB Type-C is a very versatile port, underrated. It's used on many other devices such as MacBooks, Chromebooks, Windows PCs, tablets, Android tablets, other Android phones, iPads, a bevy of devices, very underrated port. And the Lightning on the iPhone SE 2020, same port used mostly on Apple devices such as phones and tablets and such. To unlock these devices, both use a fingerprint sensor. You got a under the display optical on the OnePlus 9, and you got a front mounted fingerprint reader on the iPhone SE 2020. Both of these are very reliable ways to unlock your device, except that the iPhone SE 2020 is a very old school design, but it'll get the job done. A very big difference in the battery department. OnePlus 9 has a 4,500 milliamp battery, while the iPhone SE 2020 has a very small 1,821 milliamp battery. So a very stark difference. You have to give the battery life to the OnePlus 9. 4500 is okay. It's not super impressive, but it will get the job done. It'll last you probably the whole day. On the other hand, the iPhone SE 2020, that is super small battery. This phone is terrible at battery life by today's standards. You will not get through the whole day. Luckily, both devices come with fast charging. This is one standout feature of the OnePlus 9. It has a super fast 65 watt fast charging system. You get charged 0 to 100 in 30 minutes. The iPhone SE charges at 18 watts, 50% of charge in 30 minutes. You also get fast wireless charging on both of these. You get regular fast wireless charging, 15 watts on the OnePlus 9. You get regular wireless charging, Qi wireless charging on the iPhone SE 2020. So what are my takeaways after reviewing the specs for both of these devices? Well, you're going to get a lot of value in the iPhone SE 2020 price-wise. It also has some features that actually is better than the OnePlus 9, such as portability. If you want a small phone, the iPhone has it for you. The OnePlus 9 coming in at $700 doesn't really merit any type of super flagship qualities. Yes, it has 5G, but a lot of cheaper phones do have that. the quality on the back is not real true glass. In the US, it only comes in one SIM card slot. The resolution is only 1080p, which is not a quality flagship display. It does have the redeeming quality of having a fast Snapdragon AAA processor. 128 gigs of internal storage is not really impressive at that price point. I would like to see more. The camera system is very hyped up with Hasselblad branding, but it will not be on flagship level. And yeah, there's just a lot of things that the OnePlus 9 is missing from being a high flagship device. The iPhone SE 2020 gets a lot of updates. It's a very portable. It has fast charging, and the video quality is still pretty good, and it might even be on par with the OnePlus 9, even though it costs $300 less. So all in all, both of these are very good devices, except that watch out for the battery on the iPhone SE 2020. That's its biggest flaw, and that's probably one strength of the OnePlus 9 is a big battery and lots of fast charging. On that note, guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.